Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat here in the Inside Lowell Studios. I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce. I'm so excited to have our guests on today. We have Karen Woodrow and 𝗓𝗵𝗺𝗶𝘁 from Visiting Angels. How are you both?
We're
Good.
great.
It's great to be here.
It's so nice to see you. I had to stop talking because I was just catching up after it seems like it's been so long.
I know. Always great to see you, Danielle. Thanks for having us.
Nice to see you too. And it's nice to see what's in front of me. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we're here screaming from the rooftops. So we participate in a home care pulse survey. It's an independent quality satisfaction survey form that's a company that specializes in the home care industry. And every month they survey 10% of our clients and 10% of our caregivers. And everyone ranks us on these metrics about communication and comfort and caring and skills. And every month we do really, really well. And lo and behold, at the end of the year, we found out that we ranked in the top 100 of all home care agencies in the nation. And we're really quite proud of that. We have a small, mighty team in the office. Cheryl and Kathy do a fantastic job managing our caregivers and our clients and making sure that everyone is happy with what we're providing. And to be in the top 100 in the nation is huge. This company surveys over 2,000 home care agencies. So to be in the top 100, we actually ranked 29th.
Oh my
and
gosh.
We're the only home care agency in Massachusetts to earn this prestigious award.
Yeah, we're very proud of it. And it's funny, Karen has a story about this, but we feel like what we do is just what we should be doing, just trying to do the right thing by our clients and our caregivers.
Yeah, so every month we go, great, we got 10s, our clients are satisfied, our caregivers are satisfied with us. And at the end of the year, you think it's no big deal because this is how you're supposed to treat people.
Right.
But clearly we're doing something right.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And your caregivers too. I mean, that's amazing that it's coming from both angles.
Yeah.
Well, the one impacts the other. So we know
Absolutely.
we got to take good care of our caregivers so that they take good care of our clients.
Absolutely.
Right. Job satisfaction is really important. So if you're happy with the agency that you're working for, you are doing well taking care of clients. We also won one of Boston Globe's top places to work
Awesome.
in 2021. So our caregivers.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that was an honor too. So yeah, we are the home care agency of choice these days, I hope.
That is incredible. And I mean, to receive this award just in Massachusetts alone, that would be huge because there's so many agencies, but nationwide.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were really surprised and really excited.
Yeah.
And the team was too.
Yeah.
Hopefully you went for a nice dinner that.
Yeah, we got to take care of our staff because they're juggling a million balls there. We want to make sure that our clients are happy, that we have picked the right caregiver. Our client care manager, Cheryl Nicholas, goes into the client's home who are requesting care, and we do a free in-home assessment, and we do a safety check to make sure where they're living, there's no tripping hazards, that they've got access to things that they need. And we do an assessment, and sometimes adult children who think that their families need care, they look at their parents with rose-colored glasses. It's really hard to see some of the things that the parents actually need. And Cheryl's been doing this for 20 years. She really has a good idea of assessing someone and figuring out their needs. And then she goes back to the office and she writes up a care plan about what's going to make this senior be comfortable and safe in their own homes. And she finds the right caregiver. It's like a matchmaking service, and she's really very skilled at it.
Oh, that is
She does such a good
incredible.
job that most of the time the clients say, "Will you be my caregiver?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, she really connects with them. Yeah.
That's really incredible. And you talk about like how sometimes the children of the seniors have rose-colored glasses, but a lot of times they spend so much time with their mother or father or loved one that they don't see a decline. It happens so over time versus somebody coming in with that fresh perspective. I'm sure.
And it's very hard to take on that caregiving role as an adult child. These are your parents.
Yes.
They're the ones that raised you. They're the ones that took care of you. And it's hard to see them failing. And you kind of help compensate for them, by taking care of them. And then the reality is when Visiting Angels comes in, we're true angels, right? We're there to take care of all these things for the senior to help them remain independent in their homes. But we're also, we're letting the adult children be the child, right? To establish a parent-child relationship. I know that for me, I was with my mom and I was helping her with laundry and I was helping her grocery shop and I was helping her do all these things. And then she'd say, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And she'd say, oh, come sit, let's chat. I'm like, I can't. I have my work and I have my children. It's that sandwich generation. And so now with her visiting Angel's caregiver, the caregiver does these things for her. They have a wonderful relationship, and I get to go in and say,
great.
okay, mother-daughter time.
Yeah.
Let's go to the movies, or let's go to the theater, or let's go out for lunch. So it really changes for the better relationships between parents and children.
And offers the companionship of when the angel comes in too, which is another person that the senior gets to connect with and spend time with and have in their home.
Right. And the other thing, about adult children is, they see their parents starting to have trouble maybe walking or having trouble remembering things, some memory issues. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and in some ways it reminds them of when they had their children, right? And who were learning to walk and learning to remember things. And the difference and sort of the sad thing about it is that, our parents' memories aren't going to improve. Their mobility isn't going to improve. And so you want to try and, address those things and help prevent any falls before they happen rather than after the fact.
Yeah. We do find that some clients call us a few months too late.
Yeah.
If we had been in there earlier, we might have been able to help prevent the fall. We might have been able to bring things that cause a fall to their attention. So if you see your parents starting to fail, it's good to make a call and educate yourself on what kind of resources are available, and establish a relationship with a home care agency like Visiting Angels, because the relationship can be very important, and it's very difficult to get a call from who are in crisis mode.
Oh yeah, especially if there's a lot of children involved. I'm sure all those different personalities.
Oh yeah.
Do you become like therapists?
Yes. Cheryl could also be a family psychologist as well as a client care manager.
It's pretty typical that, children who've all been raised by the same parents have very, very different ideas about what mom and dad need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you hear about the one that's like out in California that never around them. They just swoop in and want to have a say in everything. And
Right. The one that's there every day has no idea what they're talking about. But in sunny California, everything looks great. Mom and dad are doing great.
But you can also, I'm sure, start having the conversations with your parents while they're still young.
Oh yeah,
That's
young
the
enough,
best time. And what do you want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the plan going to be? And that takes it off the siblings as well, so that this is what mom and dad want.
Right. It's a difficult conversation to have, but it's an important one, because if you get their input, before they are, struggling to really understand what it is they need and want, and they can anticipate it, you feel much more confident and supportive of your parents, because you know what they desired when they were able to express it.
And a lot of the seniors who we get, the children call us, the parents are not, they don't want the care. It's hard to see themselves starting to fail and be dependent on someone and need someone. And really, what they really should do is look at it as like they're giving their kids a gift, right? That the children don't. We provide peace of mind to families that the senior loved one is being very well taken care of, and we don't take away. People are afraid of losing their independence, and we don't do that. We're in there as support, as like a little crutch to lean on, just to make life a little bit easier so that people can enjoy aging in their own homes.
Yeah, and we're flexible. I mean, some clients have a caregiver once a week for a few hours, and other clients have caregivers every day for as many hours as they need. So there's a lot of flexibility there, and it can change over time as needs change.
What are some of the things that your angels do when they come into somebody's home?
So there's a huge level of skill among our caregivers. Companionship is always key to elderly isolation is a big problem, and just having a bright smiling face of a visiting angel can really uplift the day.
Especially after COVID.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Yeah.
So there's companionship. There is personal care. Some people need help with showering. Some people need help just with they can shower on their own, but they need a little help getting out so they don't fall in the bathroom. So it's whatever the needs are and whatever people are comfortable with. Personal shopping, either taking the person to the grocery store and doing the shopping with them, or taking a list and going to the grocery store on their own while the parent stays home and does their favorite activity. Meal preparation, meal planning.
Medication reminders.
Yeah, we are non-medical,
Yeah.
so we can't take out of a pill box, but now the pharmacies are providing the doses in those puff packs. And so, sometimes people just forget to take their meds, and the visiting angel's there to go, up, 3:00, time, time for your meds, or 7:30, time for Jeopardy, time for your meds.
Yeah. Distract him with Jeopardy.
And our caregivers log, we have a logbook that they make notes of all the important tasks that they do.
Excellent.
So that if, the son or daughter stop by to see how things went, they can take a look and see, oh yeah, mom took her medicine at 3:00, just like she was supposed to.
The Visiting Angels Journal is it's famous among healthcare workers, among physical therapists, occupational therapists, visiting nurses, discharge planners. Like, people know, oh, you're a Visiting Angels client? Great. Let me look at the journal and see how things went today. And it's just a communication tool for everybody.
Yeah. Wonderful. So we touched upon that, types of home care. I mean, your approach it's different from, obviously. Do you want to expand a little bit more on that?
Well, as I said before, we think that we're just doing things the way we should be.
Yes.
Trying to treat our clients and our caregivers the right way. But, one of the things that we talked about earlier that's actually happening today is the State House is having, I think, hearings on some legislation that's moving forward. And one of them is about licensing home care agencies. And it's really hard to believe that Massachusetts is one of the few states that doesn't require a home care agency to be licensed.
That's shocking.
Yeah. And the home care...
It just means that any person can hang a shingle and say, I'm a home care agency, I'm going to send a caregiver into you, and there's no standard of what they're providing or protection for the client or even protection for the caregiver.
Yeah. So it's being supported both by the Home Care Association of Massachusetts and the, I forget which labor union that represents home care caregivers. They both support it, and it's really sort of a basic set of standards. It's in line with what we have to do to be accredited by the Home Care Association already.
Yeah, and
but
you have that accreditation.
Right.
So one would assume that everybody would have that.
Right. Until licensing happens in Massachusetts, I would encourage anybody that's looking at home care to make sure their agency is accredited. But it's things that really seem very straightforward and minimal. So, minimal training for caregivers, proper insurance in case anything happens, whether it's like liability insurance or workers' comp in case the caregiver gets injured. Some of the other things are, just having a care plan, for the clients. Just some basic things.
I know, again, things that you would just assume that every agency
would do.
Right. And I don't even think people know to look for that.
Right. And the scary thing is if there are some bad actors out there that open up an agency and then they have a problem, they can just close up shop and open up under a different name and nobody would ever know.
And it gives all home care agencies a bad name. Like when you read the headline that a caregiver stole $10,000, you think that every home care agency has that problem. Right. But when you use an agency like Visiting Angels, that problem is not going to happen. We do background checks at the state level and at the federal level. We do CORI and SORI checks, and we just make sure that our caregivers, we check their references. And if there is that kind of problem, we are there to protect the client from that. We do an investigation, and we can make the client whole. And a mom and pop shop that's not accredited might not function in the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's happening right now.
Yeah. I think it's been, proposed over the last few years, but it just hasn't moved forward. And we're hoping this year that it finally does.
Yeah. So Larry will be providing testimony at the State House later today.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
You're on the media tour today.
That's
Seems
right.
like it. Yeah.
Do you have job openings, and what makes Visiting Angel such a great place to work versus other agencies?
We do have job openings. We're always looking for good caregivers. One of the nice things that we've been able to do is partner with the state to provide some additional training. We can talk about that in a second, but CNAs, HHAs, people that have a caring heart is the most important thing. And if they have got some personal experience, and we're always looking. So if there's people out there listening, or they know of somebody, one of the things that we think makes Visiting Angels a great place to work is not just the pay, because everybody can pay well.
But we are competitive in the market. We pay very well. We feel like this is a very valuable service that people are providing to others, and we want to make sure that they feel fairly. So we do pay well.
We provide paid training every year.
Excellent.
We also have additional training if caregivers are interested in certain topics, if they've got a client that is starting to decline and exhibit certain either challenges, there's lots of trainings that they can look at that's paid for.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about some of the things that we provide, and I touched on some of the sort of the lighter skills, but we also can take care of clients that are on bed care, that just, that need sort of, bathing in bed, and they need to be rotated not to get the sores. And we can do hospice care. We don't provide the medication or the medical part of that, but sometimes the family just needs someone to take on a lot of the roles around the house so that they can be with their loved one, or they can get a good night's sleep, and our caregiver can watch over their loved one. We also, it's great for discharge from hospitals. Having a caregiver in the home for someone that is recuperating from a time in the hospital really cuts down on readmission into the hospital. So
it makes sense, but something that I would have never thought of.
Lowell General really loves Visiting Angels.
Awesome.
So thanks
That's
to them
great.
for recommending us for a lot of their discharge clients.
Yeah.
So you partnered with the state on the workforce training fund. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that was it's a great program. We submitted an application. It was approved. We're very excited about that. So the training that we've been providing to our caregivers has been allowing them to go for home health aide training and get certification, as well as certified nursing assistant training and certification. And the partnership with that is with Middlesex Community College.
Excellent. I love that. Great.
Yeah.
And we really love this program because people walk into our office and they have caring hearts and they want to give back to the community.
And you can't train that, right?
Right,
That's
right.
something
That you can train.
It's innate. Yeah.
That comes naturally.
Yes.
And, they might have an anecdotal story where they took care of their parent or they took care of a grandparent. But it was all like from the heart and all sort of on the spot training.
Yes.
And we can take someone like that and put them into a professional training program and really make them a professional skilled caregiver.
That's amazing, because I'm sure some places just require that you have or first of all, some that are not accredited probably don't require anything, but some places might require you to have these things, but you're willing to take the right candidate and provide the training.
And a lot of people think that, some of the training is related to helping somebody get out of bed or get to a chair or just walk around. And so people think a lot of that has to do with just the person's size and strength, but it's really about skills and techniques. And we've seen, very sort of petite caregivers able to handle, any client because they've got the right skills and techniques. And the important thing about that is it keeps them safe and it keeps our clients safe from getting injured. The last thing we want to do is see somebody fall down.
I think what really separates Visiting Angels from other agencies is how much we care about our clients. We will call and check in. We will do visits, spot visits, to make sure that our Visiting Angels caregivers are dressed appropriately, are doing what they're supposed to do, check in and make sure that the care plan doesn't need to be adjusted, check in with the caregiver to see if they need do they need gloves, do they need masks, do they have the tools that they need. Perhaps they could use a training. We have Visiting Angels Online University that we can recommend one of those courses for them to take to help them in a situation that they might find themselves in. And then in terms of our caregivers, we do the same thing. We have a new program called 𝗓𝗵𝘺𝗶𝘴𝗴, and it's the gamification of the workforce. And they will get flowers if they clock in on time, and flowers if they clock out on time. And with these, and then they accumulate flowers. And if someone goes above and beyond during their shift, something that, we might not have instructed them to do, but it was really something special for the client. Sometimes we have a caregiver that cooks meals and from at home and brings them to the client, and the client like really enjoys that. This isn't something that we ask them to do on their free time, but they do it for the love of the client. We might give them a bouquet of flowers on this Perry thing on the phone, and with those flowers, they can buy. They can get like gift cards to TJ Maxx or Walmart, and it's just a way to make work fun.
Yeah.
And, we check in with them. We have caregiver appreciation events because it is really amazing what we do.
It's incredible.
And it's a great group to get together with because they all are so kind. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be great. And it's good for them to have the opportunity to get together with,
and they learn from each other. They've
Yeah.
heard the name. They've read in the journal
Yeah.
that
Oh my
Danielle
gosh.
took care of their client
Yeah.
this morning. Oh, here's what Danielle did. And then all of a sudden at the Christmas party, they're like, oh, Danielle, I loved your notes.
That's so
And
great.
Yeah.
it's nice.
And then, like you said, you match make. So the caregiver goes to the same
personality,
person's
the
house.
skills,
Interests. That's great.
Yeah. Our goal is to keep the same caregiver with the client. Sometimes, clients need more hours than one caregiver can get, but we try and assure them that the next caregiver that's coming along is really just as good as the caregiver we sent the first
Sometimes that
time.
takes a little coaxing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's great. Is there anything else you want the viewers to know about Visiting Angels while you're here? Well, obviously you have 2 locations, so you can talk about that.
Right. So our first location that we were involved in is here in Chelmsford.
Yeah. When was that?
That was in January 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
But the agency has been here since 2009.
Yes.
It was founded by 2 women who were friends from high school, Chelmsford High School, and they took care of their aging parents, and they realized what need there was in the community for help with aging parents. People like in the Chelmsford and Lowell area really like have roots here. They don't want to pick up and go to a random assisted living.
It's true.
Didn't you once tell the story that you had?
My grandmother, yeah.
I love that story.
So I'm from Lowell. My parents, my grandparents, great-grandparents, and my grandmother was at 𝗓𝗶 Life and Wellness Community, and she had a moment where she's like, "Where am I?" And I said, "You're at 𝗓𝗶," and she goes, "Rhonda Mab's right there. I'm still in Lowell." Okay. Then she was fine.
Right. And this is
So imagine if I said she was in, I don't know, Wilmington.
Right.
Oh, no, people really want to be in their homes.
Yes.
And I mean, they've raised their families in these homes, and the homes can get a little bit too big for them, but with a little bit of support from a Visiting Angels caregiver to change your linens, to help you down the stairs, to make your breakfast, like you really can age safely and comfortably where you want to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it just adds to the quality of life, length of life, I'm sure, in many instances.
I think the last thing somebody, like my mom's 92 and she still lives on her own in her home.
Yeah.
My dad passed away in 2015. And, we've talked about, does she want to stay at home? And that's really where she wants to be. And so want to do everything we can to support her.
Yeah, it's a gift to be able to do that. My grandmother just passed away at 93 last month. And my grandmother had passed away 5 years before her. And they both were able to stay home with the proper support. And what a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, we joke about that too. Even for us, we have a friend who is a real estate agent, and he's like, "When you're ready to move out of here, I'm your guy." And I'm like, "Never, never. I'm never leaving this house. I love my house."
You're barking up the wrong tree.
What was the expression you used?
What?
Feet first in the box. That's the only way I'm living.
Feet first in the box. I love my house. It's where I want to be. It's where I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
These are the walls that I want to see. When I take my last breath. So I think that staying at home is a nice thing to do, and Visiting Angels allows that to happen. So our agency, we cover, I call it the Route 3 corridor. It starts at Drake at the New Hampshire border, and we go all the way down Route 3, Chelmsford, Lowell, Wilmington,
Yeah.
Tewksbury, and then down more towards the south, Burlington, Winchester, and Woburn.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then
Yeah.
you're also in Newton Needham as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we loved the business so much
Yeah.
that we after acquiring the Chelmsford franchise, we acquired the Newton franchise. So we got a lot of Massachusetts covered.
Amazing. Well, Massachusetts is very, very lucky to have you both and all of your angels. And I love that you get to call them angels. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, we have wings painted in our
Yes.
office, and we have our caregivers take their pictures in front of it, and we have a wall of caring. It's all of our
Oh, that's
caregivers. It's
wonderful.
wall of caring, wings earned.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Well, it was so nice to see you both.
It's
Oh,
always
always
good to
it's been
see
so
you.
long.
It's
Thank
great
you.
to see you,
Yeah.
Danielle. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for coming on and come back any.
Okay,
Thanks.
we'll be back with our next award.
Perfect. I love it. Feisty. Thank you all for tuning into Chamber Chat here at the Inside Lowell Studios. We'll be back again soon. Thanks.